Imagine if I revealed that one of the greatest winners in the history of world motor racing is perhaps going through the most difficult phase of his entire career at the very moment when he should be fulfilling the dream he has had since childhood. Lewis Hamilton arrived at Ferrari as the man destined to end the championship drought of the traditional Maranello team. But what we are witnessing in the races is far from what everyone imagined. And now, a devastating statement by Ralf Schumacher may have revealed the most distressing reality about what is truly unfolding in the corridors of the Italian team. The question that echoes insistently is, are we witnessing the end of a historic cycle, or just a momentary setback for the greatest talent of our time? Hamilton joined Ferrari at the beginning of 2025 with a clear goal: to win his 8th world championship and establish himself as the greatest winner in the history of the sport. The 7-time world champion left Mercedes, where he won 6 of his 7 titles, to embrace what he has always described as his childhood dream. The Italian passion, the mystique of Ferrari, the opportunity to etch his name forever in the history books. Everything seemed to point to the perfect match between the most successful competitor of the modern era and the most traditional and revered team on the grid. However, 14 races later, the reality is far from the happy ending that was imagined. The honeymoon period ended before it even began. While Charles Leclerc shines with 5 podium finishes during the season and earned Ferrari's first pole position of the year at the Hungarian Grand Prix, Hamilton has yet to even make it to the podium driving the red car. For a competitor who holds the absolute record of 202 podium finishes in the top category, this information seems almost unbelievable. It's as if a natural goal scorer suddenly forgot how to score, but the scenario becomes even more embarrassing when we examine the direct data between the teammates. Leclerc beats Hamilton 10-4 in qualifying and 11-2 in races. If it hadn't been for the double disqualification in China, it would have been 12-2. For a 7-time world champion accustomed to outperforming his teammates, these figures are simply worrying and unprecedented in his career. The most complicated moment of Hamilton's season came in Hungary, a track where the Briton has triumphed 8 times during his career and has always proven to be competitive. After being eliminated in the second qualifying segment and starting from 12th place, Hamilton was unable to recover during the race and finished in the same position. His irritation spilled over in a public and embarrassing manner, showing a side of the driver that is rarely seen. First, over the team radio, when he called himself completely useless and suggested that Ferrari should replace the driver. Later, at a press conference, when he practically refused to address the issue, responding concisely that he had nothing more to add. When asked if he would be present at the next race in the Netherlands after the summer break, Hamilton replied cryptically, "I hope to be back, yes." His choice of words left everyone uncomfortable and sparked speculation about a possible early departure. It was in this context of absolute crisis that Ralf Schumacher, winner of 6 Grand Prix races in the top category and brother of the legendary Michael Schumacher, chose to break his silence and make a devastating assessment of Hamilton's situation at Ferrari. His comments were like an explosion in the paddock. Schumacher did not hold back in his criticism of the Briton's behavior and made statements that may have exposed the cruel reality of what is really going on at Maranello. According to the German, Hamilton is criticizing the team, complaining internally, and fighting with the car, an attitude that doesn't help anyone. For someone who knows the top flight of motorsport inside out, these are serious accusations that suggest a toxic working environment. But the harshest criticism was yet to come. Schumacher raised a question that many dare not voice publicly. Is Hamilton, at 40 years of age, too old to adjust to a new car and a new team after so many years at Mercedes? The car suits Leclerc, not him, Schumacher stated categorically. Maybe he's too mature to adjust, or maybe he just can't handle it. These are heavy words coming from someone who knows the pressure and demands of the top category well. Age has always been a sensitive issue in the sport, but Schumacher decided to touch on a sore point. But perhaps Schumacher's most revealing statement was about Ferrari's position on the team's future. According to the German, the Italian team's internal decision was made a long time ago. Charles Leclerc is the driver of tomorrow, the man on whom the team will pin all its hopes going forward. I believe that the decision to bet on Leclerc was made a long time ago, Schumacher said bluntly. This would mean that Hamilton, even as a 7-time world champion, may be treated as a supporting actor in his own story at Ferrari. A humiliating situation for any driver, let alone someone of Hamilton's caliber. Hamilton, for his part, has tried to defend himself against these criticisms indirectly, maintaining his public professionalism despite the storm. The Briton revealed that he has been sending detailed reports to Ferrari, analyzing where the team and the car can improve. In his words, he sees a huge amount of potential within this team and says that the passion is like nothing else. But Hamilton also acknowledges that Ferrari is a huge organization and there are a lot of moving parts, and not all of them are firing on all cylinders that they need to be. It's an indirect criticism, but a criticism nonetheless. The driver seems to be trying to force structural changes without burning bridges publicly. The 7-time champion seems to be trying to bring about structural changes at Ferrari, challenging absolutely every area and everyone in the team, particularly the guys at the top making the decisions. Hamilton uses the team's history as an argument, pointing out that drivers such as Kimi Räikkönen, Fernando Alonso, and Sebastian Vettel, all world champions, have failed to win titles with Ferrari in recent years. "I refuse to let that be the case with me," Hamilton declared emphatically. It is a declaration of war disguised as optimism, showing that the driver does not intend to accept failure without a fight. The big question hanging over Maranello is whether Hamilton will be able to recover, or whether his time at Ferrari will be another frustrating chapter in the Italian team's recent history. Schumacher believes Hamilton will not abandon the season halfway through, but doubts about his ability to adapt to the car and Italian culture continue to grow. With the new 2026 regulations on the horizon, this may be Hamilton's last real opportunity to show that he still has the fire in his belly to fight for titles. Time is against him. Hamilton's situation at Ferrari has become one of the hottest topics in the top flight paddock. On the one hand, we have a 7-time world champion desperate to prove that he can still compete for titles and fulfill his childhood dream. On the other, a team that seems to have found its new star in Leclerc and may be losing patience with the adaptation difficulties of its most experienced driver. What do you think? Will Hamilton be able to recover and silence his critics, or is he really experiencing the decline of one of the greatest careers in the history of the sport? Leave your opinion in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any analysis of the most controversial behind-the-scenes stories in the sport.